Hey guys, so this is the tight punt. It's not my favorite formation, but it's worth going over. It's basically bringing those gunner positions in as tight ends rather than gunners. If you are, deep in your own territory and you sense that they're really going to bring it, you want some extra blockers up front to protect the punter to make sure you get it off. There's some pros and cons to bringing those guys in, and we'll kind of talk about those as we go through the chalk talk. But it's definitely worth looking at, and if you have a good, smart guy in your wall, it's something that you can audible to if you see that the other team is lined up in a position that you're not going to be able to block. That's really my favorite time to use it. Is more as an audible, just call danger, danger. Bring these guys in and allow your punter, maybe an extra second to get the kickoff. One thing that it does though is leave you vulnerable on the edges to get beat outside. So you got to be very disciplined with your tackles to make sure that after the kick gets off, they're getting really wide, not letting anybody like a corner hanging behind come in, ear hole them, and give up the sideline. So if you got good tackles that can get outside quick and make plays coming back down inside, it's a great formation to be able to get the punt off if a team's really bringing pressure. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so a time that you're really going to want to use this, like I said before, if you're backed up on your own goal line, you're worried that they're going to really bring it. Realize this is a pretty aggressive punt return block formation. This is pretty much them saying we're coming after it. They've only got one linebacker back here, obviously either playing fake or blocking this center coming off, one returner. Everybody else is coming. Now, one thing to understand is you still have a hat on a hat in a standard punt formation. You got guy here for here, here for here. He's going to occupy them. The center's going, and if this middle linebacker comes and bull rushes him, he can get him late. This A-gap guy will be this wall. This A-gap guy will be this wall. This outside guy is this guard. Tackle picks up this guy. This free hanger coming off this side is this guy on the wall. This guy will get here, and this guy will get here. So you still have a hat on a hat, but you're really relying on everybody to make their block and hold it for as long as they should. You have no one extra. So one thing you can do just to provide a little protection is call a tight punt. You're going to slide your splits in a little bit for these guys. These guys are going to go to about a half a yard instead of a yard. And then you're going to bring these guys in as tight ends. That usually brings the corners in. And they will usually just play off the ball and block. So this just gives you a little extra protection. This guy coming off the edge, it really just frees up this guy to take care of any missed assignments up front. One thing I don't like about this is if all of a sudden, a team really gambled and they decided to bring the corner in now because you've brought another guy in. A fake would be wide open, but nobody's going to fake it down here. If somebody's really playing the odds, they can bring another extra guy, and it's just more guys that have to make blocks. So I always lean towards the side of making it as spread as you can. But if, for example, they were to keep these corners out here and walk this guy up, into this head up over the guard, then you've got a situation, right? Then you've got to bring your guys in, and now you can go center release, A gap, guard on there, tackle there, him there, and then the free hanger coming off there. So really the only time I would really suggest doing this tight punt formation is if they had everybody walked up on the line. If they have everybody walked up on the line, go ahead and shift to this formation. It's something you can even walk out, and if you have a smart enough guy back here, you can call danger, danger, and bring these guys in. The assignments don't change for anybody except for these guys. These guys will just block their outside gap for 1002 and then release straight to ball. These guys will still play contain. So you'll still have the same assignments like you always do with these guys coming down straight to ball and these guys filling in after for contain. So that's how I would set it up deep in my own territory. If I was worried about getting the punt blocked, bring it in, make it a little tighter, add 2 extra blockers on the wing, try to free up one of your wall guys to clean up any messes from anybody else. So that is a tight punt. One other suggestion on this is always make sure that you coach up your punters. If you get a bad snap deep in your own territory, try to just kick the ball out of bounds rather than picking it up. If you fail picking it up and they fall on it, it's a touchdown. If you can just kick it out of the back of the end zone, you're only giving up 2 points. And always tell him, no matter where we're out in the field, heels on the goal line. If you're all the way backed up inside the goal line, then you want to put your heels on the back end and make sure you don't take a step back. So thanks, guys. Everything else is the same on this. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks.